Hey friends, it's Ananda from Galactic Mystic, and this video, or the video that follows this, is actually a live that I did in the Galactic Mystic Facebook group. So what I'm going to be talking about is sort of an overarching general energy of the collective and the energy, the leading edge of consciousness energy for about the next year to 2 years. This is something I could talk about for hours and hours and hours, so it's just an overview. But I think you're going to find this to be very helpful and informative. So that was my partner locking his car. It's been a long week. Anyway, if you have not yet subscribed, please do so now. It'd be an honor to have you in the YouTube family, and I'll see you soon. Hi everyone, how are you? I'm gonna get started. I have my beverage. I'm drinking kombucha, and I can already see there's a fruit fly in it. It's fruit fly season here. Okay, today I wanted to pop on and talk with you guys about some long-term energies and to go ahead and offer you some perspectives on this, because I don't know if you're like me, but I love surprises if it's my birthday or Christmas, but when it comes to things that may be difficult, I don't really like those kinds of surprises. And what I want to share with you is the collective energy of the nodal axis. And it's totally okay if you don't know the astrology of what I'm talking about, because it's really not going to be that technical. It's going to be more practical and informational, and I hope really interesting. I find this to be really interesting, and I hope you do too. So the south node is, well, the nodal axis in general has to do with our collective karma as a people, as a species. It's our collective experience at the time. And I'm talking about the transiting nodal axis. In our natal charts, you know, it's that too, but I'm not talking about our natal charts. I'm talking about what's happening in the sky for all of us right now and in the next year or two. So the nodal axis speaks of our collective experience, and there's a polarity. The south node talks about our comfort zone, what people tend to do, where they get stuck. And then the north node is our guidance system. It's our, where we want to focus, how we want to grow. Okay. So right now, the south node is in Sagittarius and the north node is in, I almost said Germany. The north node is in Germany. It's not in Germany. It's in Gemini. And this has been the case, you know, the nodes stay in a zodiac sign for about 1.5 years. So the south node in Sagittarius, when we're talking about the south node, it's important to consider the dumpster fire energies of the south node, the trash can aspects of it, because that's just kind of how it goes. And I'll give you an example. So if you were to think about the last year of our world, right, with the south node in Sagittarius. Okay, if I was going to talk about the positive aspects of Sagittarius, I would say overwhelming optimism, looking to the future. We're on a quest. You know, we're really feeling pretty lucky. And I think we can all agree that that's not been the case. So if we switch that and we look at the dumpster fire of Sagittarius, so what's the dumpster fire crap of Sagittarius? Well, it's about, let's see, wearing blinders, believing in, having blind faith, not being able to see anything out of your own opinion, being a little bit of a zealot, thinking you've got it all figured out, not being able to intake new information. This is like the stuff of like fundamentalism, the trash can of Sagittarius. And if you think about what's been happening, that's totally it. Families torn apart because they believe differently. Everybody thinks they know exactly what's going on. And like being really loud about it. Sagittarius can be very mouthy. So like that feels pretty accurate, right? So that's what most people are doing. But it's the South Node, which means it's not our place of growth. Our place of growth is the North Node, which is currently in Gemini, which is asking us to ask questions, to be open to new information, to ask questions that lead to other questions, to not have it figured out. The death throes of Gemini is about thinking you have it all figured out. And so this is quite telling, isn't it? Okay, so that's where we've been. It's where we are now. Currently, the South Node is at 8 degrees of Sagittarius. The nodes move backwards through the zodiac, unlike everything else. So it starts at the end of a sign and moves to the beginning of the sign and then moves into the sign before that. So this means that the South Node will be moving into Scorpio. And this will be happening in January. I've got my notes. Let me pull my chart up. So in January, the South Node will be moving into Scorpio. The North Node will be moving into Taurus. So what does this mean? Well, if we're talking about dumpster fire trash can energies and we're talking about Scorpio, that can be a little bit scary. The dumpster fire energy of Scorpio, these are the things that kind of freeze the blood in our veins. These are things that kind of are a little bit scary. And so there's more to this though, because the day after the South Node moves into Scorpio, which is actually January 18th, I have Post-it notes everywhere. January 20th, oh no, I'm sorry, the next month, February 20th is when the United States has its Pluto return, and that's a whole other enchilada that I'll be talking about maybe next week. But what this is doing is this is setting us up. If you can feel this buildup of energy, you're not crazy, okay? When the South Node moves into Scorpio, I mean, I don't know what's going to happen, but I think we can all open our eyes and see that, you know, things are not over. The situation that we're in is not over. If anything, it's building, and Sagittarius South Node moving into Scorpio South Node could really bring some things to a head. Now, remember that the South Node, the transiting South Node, is what most people are going to like sort of lean into, their comfort zone, or it could be our collective experience. But with the North Node in Taurus, we're going to be asked to be very calm. Taurus energy is grounded, it is calm, and we probably will want to be doing some gardening, right? I mean, if you think about the age of Taurus, this is when humans were really, it was the agricultural boom. The waters of Scorpio fed the earth of Taurus, and we had the age of Taurus. It was agricultural. And so we're going to be asked, the question is, do you want to do what the collective is going to do, or do you want to be on the leading edge of consciousness and human experience? And at the leading edge, guiding everyone else as an example, is this North Node. So right now, the North Node is asking us to ask questions, to realize we don't know what's going on, to realize we don't have the answers, to ask questions that lead to more questions. When it moves into Taurus, it's going to ask us to be calm and grounded, and maybe even a little stubborn in that groundedness. We're going to want to dig deep into our own self-fortitude, because if the South Node in Scorpio is, I don't know, in a moment we're going to go through some historic things and you'll see what I mean. It's a little bit crazy. And then after that, after the South Node moves, once it moves out of Scorpio, it will be moving into Libra, and then the North Node will be in Aries, and that will be a whole other situation that we can talk about another time as well. So let's go over some history here. So right now, the South Node entered Sagittarius in May of 2020, and it will go until January 18th of 2022. So this is the period of the zealot, where everybody just thinks they know what's going on, right? So then January 19th, 2022, the South Node moves into Scorpio. So the last time this happened was in 2003 and 2004, okay? The Iraq War began in 2003, and actually the Iraq War began when the South Node was still in Sagittarius. It was at 1 degree of Sagittarius, right about to move to the end of Scorpio. So the beginning of a zodiac sign is a very potent energy. So that kind of makes sense, right? So the South Node will be at that same degree on October 30th of this year. The same degree that it was at when the Iraq War began. November 16th, 2002, when the South Node was where it is today, 8 degrees of Sagittarius, was when the SARS outbreak began, the COVID SARS. Tell me that's not interesting. In October 2003, this is when the image platform 4chan was launched. This is where the hacker group Anonymous started, and the other more recent group started on this platform. Isn't that interesting? February 2004 was the Super Bowl controversy with Janet Jackson's nipple exposure. Now Scorpio energy is about sex and death. It's about making the unconscious conscious, and a lot of times, in order to make the unconscious conscious, stuff has to be really in our face or really unpleasant or scandalous, right? A few days after that Super Bowl event was when Mark Zuckerberg created Facebook. Now, at this time, it was still just for Harvard. It was not public, but that's when it was created, during South Node in Scorpio. 4chan, Facebook, this is just, tell me this isn't just fascinating. Around the same time as when Saddam Hussein was arrested and tried for war crimes, but this whole time was the Iraq War, which of course went on to 2011, but this is when it began. And if you can remember this period of time, there were so many bombings and plane crashes. There was like the worst earthquake that we've had in, I think, 40 years or something like that. There was a little girl abducted in Sicily. She was 3, I forget her name, but her case was closed and then it was reopened this year. Tell me that's not crazy. I mean, this is just, okay. So all of that happened the last round of South Node in Scorpio, North Node in Taurus. Now, I'm not trying to scare anybody. I am trying to prepare you to follow the North Node, to follow that Taurus energy if things start to go wild. Now, with the Pluto return of the United States, also having a Neptune opposition at the same time, I don't know how there could not be tremendous change. And you know, if you've been watching, of course you've been watching, we've all been watching how this has been going down this year. You know, when the world gets crazy, we want to be sane. World goes crazy, we don't want to go crazy. We want to be sane. And so that's my message here. I think we may be in for a wild ride for the next year or so. But I ultimately believe that we will find ourselves in a much better place because of all of this. Now, I definitely don't think that I have it all figured out. I love asking all those questions that lead to more questions, and I'm all about changing my mind with new information. So with this little tidbit, I hope it sparks some curiosity. If you have any questions or any comments about this, I will answer them. And definitely going to do a significant piece on the Pluto return and the Neptune opposition of the United States. Because with that happening in this South Node Scorpio cycle, I just feel like, you know, we could really be in for some things. And now's the time to really think about, how do you stay calm when everyone is losing their minds? Well, you may need to dig some fruit flies out of your kombucha, but I mean, you know, we can do that. They don't drink much. All right, loves. That's what I've got for you. I hope this was informative and interesting for you. Let me know. And let me know how you feel about it. How do you feel? How are you doing?